Like Smart. Pendo kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans get locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died. Y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew. You a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum. A gun that would die. Yeah, Easy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on the yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth. I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947. Your menorah got 9 sticks. It's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world. Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs, bunch of thieves and culture vultures ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander, and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you live there. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. You BK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard and kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, this what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this is an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ. They the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas. They a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth. Niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4. I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now, you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
All right, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street Hall, New York, on the Command Journey Yohana. Since 1969, been bringing out this truth. Slaki, been bringing out the truth to our people, letting so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people know that they descend from the greatest people to walk this earth, and letting them know that they are special and God's chosen people. And God's chosen people are still walking this earth, and that's them. You understand? And of course, you know, we are oppressed today, and to the ones that believe we are not, you know, they're just suffering from a syndrome called Stockholm syndrome. All right. And we need to let them, we out here on these streets Fridays and Saturdays in the Isupk, letting our brothers and sisters know that our culture is, in fact, the Holy Bible. All right. Bear with me. Sloggy for the class starting a little late. But our culture is documented in the Bible, the King James 1611 Holy Bible. We don't deal with any other translation. Make sure y'all pay y'all tithes to the isupk.org site. It's a commandment. All right. With that being said, we're going to get right into it. You understand? We're going to go to Romans chapter 15 and 4 because we need to understand that the prophets writing in this Bible, they're writing for the times that we are in right now. All right. And our job is to go back, or our responsibility is to go back and read about our identity as a nation of people, our culture. You understand? Read about our God and what he requires of us as a nation of people. You understand? The reason we are in this condition is written in this Bible. The reason why we suffer as a nation of people and can't seem to get along and negotiate with one another, all of that is written in this Bible. You can read about our curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28. You understand? Let's go to Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. See, now we are in the days where the black man, so-called black man, Hispanic and indigenous man, we don't really have a lot of hope in our everyday lives. You understand? Like all these bills that need to get paid and all the distress that we're going through in our relationships. Some brothers got baby mama drama, and some women can't seem to keep a man or find a man of their dreams where he just prefers her and her only. So she feels like disgusted that she has to jump from man to man and trying to live her dream fantasy. It's a lot of problems going on in our communities. It's a lot of chaos between organized crime and street gangs. And as us being Israelites, man, we are very territorial and stubborn as a nation of people. And understand this, that is also what's destroying us, because being stubborn and selfish is not it's not what we need as a nation of people today. You understand? Our conditions right now require us to be on the same type of foundation to where we could depend on one another. It's a society today. They're pushing this whole independent philosophy, and they're pushing that onto our women. Our women don't believe that they need a man, or don't believe that they should rely on a man to lead the household. They want to be equal to all men, and that's just not the order that the Lord set on this earth. You understand? But however, the things that are written aforetime, man, you could read about how this world began and how the Most High wants this world to operate under his decree, under his pedigree. And you can read about that in these scriptures. These scriptures bring more understanding to our eyes and our mindsets. The Lord making us in his image. He's given us the ability to make decisions, to figure things out, to be able to reason, to rationalize and understand, situations. You understand? And today we are just so spoiled to where like we feel we're entitled to whatever we want in life, and that's just not how it works. You work for what you get in life, and that's what the Lord is teaching us. You learn about that when you're in the Isupk. You have to work to get rewarded. You understand? You have to work to and earn what you put your work into, put your brick into. You understand? And that's all in this Bible, man. But however, society today is oppressing our people, has our people losing hope, man. A lot of our people, they're giving up because the pressure is on us, man. We have heavy hearts because, one, we already don't know who we are. You know, and we're still trying to figure that out. And plus, we're just living in a world where we just have to go work a 9 to 5, man. And, you know, we have an envious eye to the ones that's rich and making it. And that's all they show us on TV. And that's all we trying to be. But not a lot of us are trying to be God's people. You know, not a lot of us trying to seek the Most High as much as we should. We're not studying our culture. And our culture is in fact here documented in the King James Bible, man. So you have to read what's been written before time for our knowledge, man, so we can understand what we're supposed to be doing right now. If we don't know where we come from, we don't know where we going. And we won't know our present, like where we at right now. And today is the later days. All right, lock it, bear with me. Today is the later days. Yeah. So Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And even in the Christian church today, they say stay in the New Testament. They try to abstain from the Old Testament. This scripture alone is letting you know, Paul is letting you know that you're supposed to read what the prophets was talking about in the Old Testament. You know, that's the history right there. You're supposed to read your history so you know where you are. You can't take the history away from your people, man. And that's what they're trying to do today in society. They're trying to strip us away from our history, about us learning about slavery and everything. And that's all documented in this Bible. Like I said, we are being oppressed right now, and it's all documented in this Bible. You understand? So Romans 15:4 is telling you to make sure that you read what's written aforetime. So we're gonna go to Deuteronomy. Salakia. Let's go to Psalms 119. We're gonna go to Psalms chapter 119 and 104. We're going to go to the book Psalms chapter 119 and verse 104. This book of Psalms chapter 119 verse 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. I'm going to read it again. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Through the Lord's wisdom you get understanding. These precepts, you know how the Bible tells you to read precept upon precept? This is how you get understanding, man. Precepts are his laws. You understand? Through the precepts you get understanding. Reading in the Old Testament, reading in the Apocrypha, reading in the New Testament, you will get the understanding of the Most High. You can't just read this Bible from Genesis to Revelation and think that you know the Bible. A lot of people say that, and they miss a lot of understanding, right? Through thy precepts, we get understanding. You understand? Through the Most High's laws, these precepts is his laws. The wisdom and everything that's in this Bible, supposed to read a little bit over here, a little bit over there. You're going to get the understanding, man. You're going to learn about you're going to learn morals from the Most High. You're going to learn what your dietary laws from the Most High. You're going to learn how you're going to learn how to have a good judgment, a good mindset. You understand? And you're going to also know which direction you should follow. You're going to know who you should hang around. You're going to know who you should separate from. This is everything that's in the Bible, man. This is your culture. All right? Because a lot of our people just don't know what to do anymore. You understand? So let's dive in a little bit more. Yeah. It's Proverbs chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee." Verse 2, "so that thou incline thine ear into wisdom and applying thy heart to understanding." Verse 3, "Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and lifted up thy voice for understanding." Verse 4, "if thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures." Verse 5, "then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord Yahweh and find the knowledge of God." Verse 6, "for the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding." You understand? So you're supposed to be searching and seeking this wisdom of the Most High. Our people today, we are seeking other things. We are seeking how we're about to get our next blunt, or how we're about to get this, or being at the liquor store early in the morning. We're just seeking how to just, get a lot of money so we can get this nice car, buy this motorcycle, and get a nice crib. We don't put as much time in seeking these things of the world rather than seeking the wisdom of the Most High. We don't put enough time in seeking the wisdom of the Most High. And that's why we are destroyed, man. We don't have the knowledge that we should have as a nation of people. You understand? If we incline our ears into listening and tuning into these classes of the Isupk, you will learn some practical knowledge. You will learn more about your people. You will learn why we sit up there on them corners Fridays and Saturdays telling the truth about our enemy, letting them know that we know that y'all stripped us from our identity. We know that y'all stole our identity, and you're masquerading like you are God's chosen people. You will understand when you start to incline your ears into our classes and tune into our online classes, and why we are breaking that down, and why we say that out there on these streets. You understand? There's a whole bunch of breakdowns in this Bible about your culture, about you and your history, and the prophets speaking good things about your people, man. But we don't see that today in America. America, we are not looked at as a great people. The Bible lets you know you are a great people. You understand? The Bible is telling you not to think that you are equal to these other people on this earth, because you are God's chosen people. But you have to make sure you are representing the Lord as well. That's the Holy Spirit. You understand? You're supposed to be separate. Represent the Lord, man. You're supposed to be keeping his commandments, his statutes, and his laws, man. You're supposed to be rocking these crowns like a priest would, as you should. You're supposed to be in all black, learning about your culture in class. You understand? You're supposed to just incline your ear to wisdom and applying your heart. Your heart is your mind to understanding. You're going to try and figure out. You're going to read these scriptures and break them down word by word, looking them up in the dictionary. Your IQ is going to start to increase. You understand? Why? Because you're problem solving. You're going to go into the history books and read up into these different scholars and see how they revealing that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people are the real Jews. You understand? Incline your wisdom, incline your ear to wisdom and understanding, man. If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. You understand? The fear of the Lord? The fear of the Lord is you obeying him. You understand? When you seek throughout the history, as in Romans 15:4 says, whatsoever was written aforetime was written for our understanding. When you read into our history, And you've seen where we messed up. You've seen where we rejected the Most High, right? You read about that in the book of Numbers, chapter 14, 15, and 16. You read those chapters in the book of Numbers where we went against Moses, where we went against the Lord. And look how the Lord punished the people that went against him. You understand? You seeking the wisdom, learn about the history of God's chosen people. Learn about your history of your forefathers. You are now going to gain wisdom that's telling you to fear the Lord. You understand? Meaning we're going to learn about our mistakes because for us forsaking the Lord, so the solution would therefore be to keeping his commandments. And the keeping his commandments meaning obeying him, that's fearing the Lord, man. Having faith right now today by keeping his commandments, it shows that you fear the Lord. You understand? Get another scripture real quick. Because you really only have one choice. You understand? There's really only one choice you have. That's if you want to live. Some people choose death. But if you want to live, you choose the Most High. You choose the Most High way. Choose the Most High's will. Salakia. It's Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. If you keeping these laws, or you learning and you seeking the wisdom of the Most High, that's you coming to life, man. In the world, you was the walking dead. In the world, you used to smoke weed. You used to always be coughing. You looking like a zombie out there. You was probably popping perks and pills, and maybe even was on dope. You probably was homeless. You understand? You look like a zombie in this world. It looked like the world was whooping you. You understand? This world was beating you down. You understand? But when you come into the ISUPK, you learn to keep these commandments. You get stronger. You be fed with wisdom and understanding. You got a brotherhood and a sisterhood that's taking care of you. You start to come to life. You know what I'm saying? You're not in that miserable world no more. You understand? When you keep these commandments, it brings you into a brotherhood. It brings you into witnessing a good culture. You understand? Keeping these traditions of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And learn about your forefathers. But such as leave it shall die. You know, there's a lot of people that come into the truth, but they leave it, right? They might not literally die, but internally, it's like they're dead, man. Because why? Some people, they was all big in the truth. They leave the truth. They get all skinny in the world. They start doing them drugs and everything. They look like a zombie again, like the Walking Dead. You understand? Some probably get schizophrenic. Some probably get, multiple personality disorder. You get smite with madness, man. This is why you must stay in the truth, man. You're supposed to obey the Most High. Keep fighting that fight. You know what I mean? If you don't know something, raise your hand in class. Right? And keep on reading. You keep reading. If you don't know something, write your questions down and you come into class. Come into class, raise your hand, or if you coming online, you drop your questions in the chat, and this brotherhood is going to help you out. All right? But right now, we need to understand that these scriptures is what's going to bring us back and bring us back on top. Keeping these commandments in the Most High is what's going to bring us back on top, man. Let me get that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of this earth. There you have it. In Deuteronomy 28, verse 1, it says, if we keep all the commandments, this is God's chosen people, he'll put us on high above all these other nations on the earth. We're not talking about being equal. You understand? That's peace. Because right now, Black, Hispanic, Indigenous, man, we do not have peace in America. We don't. Right? The oppressor has his foot on our necks, his knee on our neck. The oppressor is just following us. I just got followed today. They have, the police are following us in these cars for no reason. They just following us for miles to see if we go over that speed limit. Why? So they can harass us. You understand? We are being oppressed right now. And it's time for us to stop being so stubborn, man, and ask for help. You can't go through this fight alone. This is what a brotherhood is for. So you don't got to go through these problems, these trials and tribulations alone. You don't got to go through that fire alone, man. You got a brotherhood right here with you to help you fight them demons. Seek counsel. Come seek counsel from the men of the Lord, real prophets, ones who dedicate their lives to keeping these commandments, to serving the Most High God, to raise up his people. You understand? To build up green zones so the kids could come and learn something, learn the truth about their people, not what the oppressor is teaching. We got to stop worrying about who's being next in the seat of presidency. You understand? Come on a commander journey in Honda and learn some practical knowledge about your life. Your life is precious, so don't throw it all away. Stop listening to what your oppressor tells you to do, because your oppressor has no love for you. He doesn't want you to have peace. Look at your environment. Look at your neighborhood. Look at who's most populated in the prison systems. They are targeting you. And this is not their book. This is not their book. This is our book. This was not written by the oppressor. You understand? This was written by Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous people. So many metaphors in this Bible, man. They can't speak like us. They can't understand these scriptures. That's why they got pictures of a European Eve talking to a snake. They got drawings they just don't understand these scriptures. We are the only ones that can envision it, because it's the spirit connected to these words that's written in this Bible. Our spirit is the only thing that connects to these words. So let's defend this truth. Let's defend this truth. You understand? We are the real Jews. And be proud to say it. Why are you not proud to say that you're a real Jew? You can't be scared. You got to have courage in the Most High. You understand? Let me get that in Deuteronomy 31. You must have courage in the Most High. The things that you could conquer when you believe that the Most High is with you, when you be keeping these commandments, the things that you could conquer is unbelievable. It's Deuteronomy 31. We're going to start at, so I can get the wrong page. We're going to Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. It says, be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. You understand? It says, be strong and of good courage. And what's courage? Let's break that down. That's an attribute that you have to have when you come to serve the Lord. Go download. All right, it's the definition of courage: the ability to do something that frightens one. Strength in the face, bravery. Let me see some more. Bravery, braveness, fearlessness. You understand? You have to be fearlessness. You have to be fearless, Salakia. You have to be fearless when you come to serve the Lord. You understand? That's courage, man. You have to have a lot of brave. You have to have a lot of brave. Salakia, I'm trying to get this word right. You gotta be brave to come and serve the Lord. You understand? That's a once you pick up this sword, man, you are not supposed to drop it. You gotta be brave when you come to serve the Lord. You gotta be out there speaking this truth every Friday and Saturday. And anything can happen, man. A lot of sick people is in this world. They don't like hearing this truth. You understand? Anything can happen. You gotta be brave though. It's gonna be a lot of people trying to cancel you, but you gotta be brave, man. Don't worry about none of that. There's gonna be reward for you putting your work in, doing what you're supposed to be doing as an Israelite man. You understand? Yes, black man, you are an Israelite man. Whether you see it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, you are an Israelite man. You understand? You're not brave until you come and serve the Most High God. You got to have courage, man. You understand? You got to have courage to serve the Most High God. It says, be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of your oppressors, man. They can't touch you, man. And if they do, bro, hey, there's a reward for you in the kingdom of heaven, man. You understand? Okay. For the book of Matthew, let me get it real quick. There's a reward for you if you lose your life. This is, Matthew chapter 10, verse 39. It says, he that findeth his life shall lose it. So if you feel like you out here and you believe whatever you believe, but not in this truth, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your life. You understand? Your life will end up short. All right? And it says, he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. So it's a lot of things that you'll be going through, your trials and tribulations from seeking the Most High and following the steps of Christ. You might lose your wife. You understand? She might want to divorce you, or commit adultery. You know, a lot of friends you had in the world may abandon you. You know, a lot of family may abandon you. Why? Because you're not coming to Thanksgiving dinner, or you're not coming to your Christmas gathering. A lot of people are going to abandon you. You understand? But even a lot of people may try and take your life. You understand? This is what I'm saying. He that loses his life for my sake shall find it. You understand? He that receives you receiveth me. He that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. So you're going to receive the Lord when you receive Christ, man. You understand? When you follow after what Christ taught, you're going to receive the Lord. You understand? You're not doing no other gospel. You're not learning no other teachings. You're learning what Christ taught. And you following after what Christ told you to do. All right? Let me go back to Deuteronomy 31. Verse 6, it says, be strong and of a good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee. The Lord will not fail you. You understand? You keep these commandments, right? And you out here being a good brother and a good sister. You being a good man. Doing the work of the Lord. The Lord won't fail you, because you're doing everything in your heart to be a righteous man. The Lord is not going to fail you. You understand? You got to be of good courage and fear not. You understand? These scriptures gives us hope. Learning, keeping, these commandments, it gives us hope, man. Why? Because we're separated from this world. And we're seeing the prophecies being fulfilled in this world. The curses coming on us, being like plagues being thrown into this kingdom. That's these scriptures, man. We have hope as a black man. You understand? Reading that Quran and following all that Buddhist teachings and all these other religions, it ain't no message in any of these things. You understand? Verse 6, it says, be strong and of good courage, man. We're supposed to have good courage when we turn our lives to the Lord. You got to be brave to serve the Most High God. All right. We get 1 John. Yeah, 1 John chapter 4. Let me get 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. It says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. I'll read that again. It says, there is no fear in love. So there is no fear in love. You understand? If you keeping these commandments of the Most High God, then what are you afraid of? You understand? What are you afraid of if you keeping these commandments? You should have no doubt in your heart. You should have nothing but positivity thoughts. It's like positive thoughts. Messing up my words tonight, y'all. You should have nothing but positive thoughts, man. You understand? You keeping these commandments, man. Wake up every day. I know every day ain't gonna be a good day, but make sure you try and you challenge to just think positive. Even when that negative situation come, deal with it and think positive, man. You understand? You should have no fear in your heart. You shouldn't be afraid of dying. You shouldn't be afraid of anything going on around you. You protected when you follow the Most High God. The Most High God created the heaven and the earth, and you doing what He say, then you should have no fear in your heart if you keeping these commandments. Right? It says there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. So you keep these commandments, you're going to cast out that fear. You good, man. Keep walking tall. Because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. So if you out here scared about dying, or you just worried all the time, you lacking some understanding. Or you need to check yourself. You must be doing something wrong. You don't know if you're doing something wrong. Seek counsel. You understand? Make sure you are doing righteousness acts. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you are walking the right walk, keeping these commandments. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Right? Now I know y'all thinking, well, it says love. It don't say keep the commandments. Let's break that down. 1 John chapter 5, verse 3 is going to let you know what love is according to the Most High God. This 1 John chapter 5, verse 3, it says, for this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous. I'm going to read it again. For this is the love of God. So this is what love is to God. You understand? That we keep His commandments. So you saying you love God, right? But you out here, you having sex with a man and, things ain't going well, so you leave him. You're rationalizing or trying to justify why you left him. maybe the sex wasn't good, or maybe he didn't communicate with you good enough. So you left him and you went to another man. You know what I'm saying? The same thing goes on. So you go to another man. And this man is just a little one night stand. That's not what the Lord requires of the sisters. You lay with that man, that's your man. You understand? That's you keeping the commandments. You lay with that man, that's your man. Don't go to no other man. You don't commit no adultery. As for the brothers, you out here, you should not be laying with whores. All right, you should not be laying with whores. You know, a woman is a whore, man. And if you didn't know, she just leaves you. Hey, don't go back to her. Don't go back to her. If she whored on you, you are not to take that female back. These are our laws in the Bible, man. The Lord gives us game as men. You are not to go back to a woman that leaves you, and you are not supposed to be sleeping with these hoes, man. All right? We all know we should be eating pork. If you didn't know because you was in that Christian church, now you know you should not be eating pork. You can read about it. It's a biblical law. You understand? Shouldn't be celebrating these holidays of these of this kingdom. So no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, no New Year's, no Valentine's Day. None of these are pagan holidays. You should not be celebrating. You know what I mean? Make sure you don't go to those parties, those little dinners. Don't gather with nobody doing, the wicked thing. You understand? And that's if you love the Most High God. That's just a clear example right there. If you love the Most High God, I just gave you a list of things right there that you have to abstain away from. All right? So now we know what love is. Love is keeping these commandments, man. If you in that Christian church, you wouldn't know what the commandments is because they telling you to stay in the New Testament. They telling you that all you have to believe in is Christ's name and you're good. That's all they tell you. They don't tell you to go. They don't tell you to do what Paul said by going back into the things that was written aforetime. They don't tell you about going back to the Old Testament. When in all reality, Paul and Christ, they were quoting from the Old Testament. You understand? That's what they had when they was walking this earth. They was teaching from the Old Testament. You understand? And Paul was teaching from what Christ was breaking down. You understand? I don't know why Christians always go to Paul, but Paul clearly says he's an Israelite. I'll bring that out. Paul clearly says he's an Israelite. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 1. It says, I say then, had God cast away his people? So Paul is asking, has God cast away his people? Now, this is in Rome, right? This is to the Israelites in Rome, right? It's the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, has God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite. Read that again. This is what Paul is saying. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. They don't teach you this in the Christian church, man. They don't want to teach you nothing about the Israelites. They don't. They conspire to keep us hidden, man. And that's all prophecy. They conspire against us. They don't want us to remember who we are. They don't want us to know who we are. This is Psalms 83. This is Psalms 83, verse 2, right? It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So you got to understand that all these nations out here conspired against God's chosen people. All right. It's saying right here, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. They take crafty counsel against thy of the Lord's people, right? To keep us in the dark, man. To keep us black. You know what I'm saying? To keep us in the dark. They don't want us to know who we really are. Right? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Right? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Is that not happening today? Are we not out here waking people up, letting them know, hey, the mystery is that you are God's chosen people, that you are the Israelites, that you are a special people, right? It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They don't like the Most High, man. These other nations, they are going against the Most High. All right? They don't want nothing to do with freeing the Most High's people. You understand? They do not want to let the Most High people go. Same thing like Pharaoh. It's the same thing like our oppressor today. They do not want to let God's people go. That's why we know we worship. Let me get that out. That's why salvation is for us. This is John chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what. So anybody saying that God loves everybody, that salvation is for anybody that believes in Christ, meaning they try to bring these other nations as if they equal to us. Ye worship ye know not what. It says, we know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. This is Christ talking. Christ didn't say salvation is for everybody. Christ says salvation is for the Jews. Now, when it says Jews in this context, it's talking about the whole nation of Israel, the whole 12 tribes. Salvation is for the Jews, man. You understand? I'm ending off with this scripture. This is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. We are that nation that's not desired. And we need to gather together, man. We need to come into the ISUPK and learn the wisdom that's in this Bible. You understand? We need to go ahead and break these words down, get a better understanding of what's being told of, what we're supposed to be doing. Right? It's lucky for starting this class late and ending it early. But with that being said, it's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out 1 West 125th Street, Hall, New York, under Commander General Hunter. Since 1969, we've been bringing out this truth, letting the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people know that they are God's chosen people. And it's the high time to get out this world, to separate ourselves from the things that's killing us and choose righteously. And teach it to our youth so that the generations after us can lean more towards the Most High's will. And with that being said, make sure y'all pay your tithes, isupk.org. Shalom, Israel.